In this week's parasha, Parashat Vaetchanan, Moshe Rabbeinu pleads to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Vaetchanan el Hashem, Vaetchanan. Chazal tell us, Vaetchanan is Gematria 515. He prayed 515 tefillot. Please Hashem, Ebrana, let me cross over this Jordan River. I want to see your greatness, God Lecha. Can I please see Eretz Yisrael? Ebrana ve'era'eh. Can I see at the Eretz HaTova, this great land, Eretz Yisrael? Asher be'evar Yarden, Ahar HaTov, Rashi says, Yerushalayim, Hazeh va'levanon, and the Makom HaMikdash. Please let me enter Eretz Yisrael. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu tells him, sorry, Moshe Rabbeinu, Rav Lach, enough, you got enough. Al tosef devar elai od, badavar hazeh, don't pray anymore, don't ask anymore. You can't enter Eretz Yisrael. Now, there are some Mefarshim that say one more tefillah, he would have made it in. So HaKadosh Baruch Hu said, stop praying, you can't anymore. Or others say, no, HaKadosh Baruch Hu is telling him, no, stop davening, stop praying, you're not allowed to enter. There's a decree, there's a takana, I made this decree, you can't enter. But I'll give you a little bit of a consolation. Ale rosh hapiska, v'sa einecha yama v'tzafona v'temana u'mizracha. Go climb up this mountain. V'sa einecha, lift your eyes, look in all directions. I'll let you see the beautiful land of Eretz Yisrael, just to see the land of Eretz Yisrael. What is zechut? Or be'einecha ki lo ta'avor ta'arden hazeh. You can see with your own eyes. Or be'einecha, and see it with your own eyes. Ki lo ta'avor ta'arden hazeh, because you can't cross over this Jordan. So we see that it seems to be that Hashem is giving him this bit of like a consolation. Here, you can go and look at the land, take your eyes, give it a quick look. That's going to be your zechut. But then I saw in this year's Shvilei Pinchas an idea that kind of relates to stuff we've been saying for the last couple of weeks since the end of Bamidbar. So we said last week that Sefer Devarim, Parshat Devarim, was the words of Moshe Rabbeinu that he finally spoke, and we brought down from the Maharal, from the Gra, from the Ben Ish Chai, all the way to the Pri Tzaddik and others, that there's something a little bit different about Sefer Devarim, that even though it was the Devar Hashem, it was a little bit more from Moshe Rabbeinu's mouth, a little bit more from his perspective, not necessarily a HaKadosh Baruch Hu speaking through his mouth, but more like a Nevu'ah kind of way we saw, or as the Pri Tzaddik said, that it's the beginning of like Ketuvim style Ruach HaKodesh, or as he writes further, it's the beginning of the Torah Sheba'al Peh. So he mentioned that Devarim was this idea of the Sodot of the Torah are beginning to come out through Moshe Rabbeinu. And then we mentioned at the end of Bamidbar, we brought down from Moshe Wolfson and others, that there's also this concept that La'atid Lavo, we saw that the Bnei Menashe are on the east of the Jordan. There is this concept that in the future, there's going to be this extension of the land of Eretz Yisrael to areas that are further than just the boundaries of the Jordan River, to include areas where Moshe is, but to include areas much further to the east and a little bit more also to the west as well. So I saw an idea in this week's Shvilei Pinchas that adds a little bit to this idea. So he quotes from the Rogatchover. Says the Rogatchover. So he's discussing the idea in the Gemara that Eretz Yisrael, Avirah de Eretz Yisrael machkim, that when a person comes to the land of Israel, the Ruach of Eretz Yisrael, the Avirah, the Avir, the air of Eretz Yisrael makes somebody much wiser, much deeper Torah. The Gemara speaks about somebody who from Chutz La'aretz makes Aliyah and starts learning Torah in Eretz Yisrael. His Torah is going to be on a much greater level than when it was when he was in Chutz La'aretz. It speaks about, first off, in general, the Torah of Eretz Yisrael is going to be greater than the Torah of Chutz La'aretz. But a person who makes Aliyah and sees that change, the Avirah makes him a change, all of a sudden he's going to get so much deeper. Where does the koch of the Torah of Eretz Yisrael come from? We say Ki Mitzion Tetzeh Torah. I was listening to a shiur last week. I heard Rav Chamitzak Yosef speak, and he spoke about how the halacha from Eretz Yisrael should be kept. The minhag of Eretz Yisrael should be kept all over the world, whether it's the Sephardi or the Ashkenazim. Whatever we do over here, it should start spreading. Ki Mitzion Tetzeh Torah. There's something special about the Torah. There's something deep about the Torah over here. But there is this idea that the learning itself becomes much, much deeper through learning in Eretz Yisrael. So says the Rogatchover, where does that come from? So he says, Mekoro, the Makor for the Koach of the extra Torah, the Shorish of the great Torah of Eretz Yisrael, even when we're in Galut, the Torah here is so great. Where does it come from? From our pasuk where Hashem told Moshe Rabbeinu, Ale rosh hapiska v'sa einecha yama v'tzafona v'teimana mizracha or einecha. When Hashem told him, go look at the land of Eretz Yisrael. כי רצה הקדוש ברוך הוא שמשה רבינו יקדש בראיית עיניו את כל ארץ ישראל. Hashem wanted Moshe Rabbeinu to make the land of Israel more sanctified, more holy, more kadosh by looking at the land. להשפיע בחוכמת התורה שבקרבו, to try to take the Torah that was in him and spread it to Eretz Yisrael. I think if we look at the words itself, they said, Sa'einecha, take your ayin. What's the ayin? We've been speaking so much about the ayin being the 70, being the sod, being the secrets of the Torah. Moshe Rabbeinu, take all those sodot. And now if we're speaking about the Ruach HaKodesh coming in, the bit of the oral Torah from the kochot that we build from down below, Moshe Rabbeinu finally reaching that in Sefer Devarim. So now HaKadosh Baruch Hu is saying, take all of this power that I'm giving you, you can't enter Eretz Yisrael. That's already too much. And he goes on to explain over there a little bit at length that what would have happened if Eretz Yisrael, we wouldn't have had a destruction of the Beit HaMikdash, we would have had a destruction of the Jewish people, because there would have been too much Kedusha, so we can't get that far. But at least give a little bit over to the Avira of Eretz Yisrael. I was thinking maybe on the level of the Ruach level, it sounds like. Give a little bit of your ayin, give a little bit of your 70, give a little bit of your Sodot, a little bit of your oral Torah, a little bit of the secrets, those crowning of the letters that you're doing right now in Sefer Devarim, as we spoke last week. Put that into the Kedusha of the Avira of Eretz Yisrael, so that every single person who comes to learn over here, Kim Etzion Tetzeh Torah, it's going to be machkim. It's going to make you so greater. The Shvilei Pinchas then goes to Tiferet Yonatan. The Tiferet Yonatan writes that ultimately the Torah Shebichtav, which we've really been up to until Devarim, Moshe Rabbeinu, the symbol of Torah Shebichtav, the Torah Shebichtav has boundaries. Every letter has to be exact. You miss one letter, you add a letter, it's pasul. It has to be the exact letters written in the exact way. We have ourselves our parchment with our sritut, with our lines. Everything is a much more meduyak and in place and in order. There's gvulot. There's boundaries. He says the boundaries of Eretz Yisrael are talui to the Torah Shebichtav. But then he said in the future, we know, as we mentioned in the past, Eretz Yisrael is going to expand. It's going to expand in all directions. It's Yaminu Smol Tifrotzi. Latid Lavo, we're going to have the Tosefet of the land, the extension of Eretz Yisrael to the whole world. Yerushalayim to all of Eretz Yisrael. Where does the koach of the extension of Eretz Yisrael come from? We mentioned from Moshe Wolfson that every letter in the Torah corresponds to a part in the land of Israel. Every family and every tribe to a different section of Eretz Yisrael corresponds to a parsha in the Torah. But he says, what about this Tosefet of the land of Eretz Yisrael? Where does the extension come from? He says the extension comes from the secrets of the Torah, the Torah Sheba'al Peh, Lagdil Torah V'Aladira. As we come up with the Chidushim, as we try to expand the Torah, so as we expand the Torah, with it is going to come an expansion of Eretz Yisrael. So there's a certain level of Torah that's only coming as we're revealing it, as we're going through it. Yes, Moshe Rabbeinu knew it all. He had the ayin, he had the 70. But Hashem says, look at the land of Israel. Put a bit of that koach, add the Kedushat to Eretz Yisrael, so that we in the future could learn and bring it about. He says, even in the Galut, we could bring it out from the koach you're putting into there, but that's going to make all the Kedusha of Eretz Yisrael. When we learn Torah in Eretz Yisrael, we learn Torah in the whole world, he actually writes, that koach of Moshe Rabbeinu will then expand the boundaries everywhere. Latid lavo for Mashiach Tzidkenu. Shabbat Shalom.